Imagine you had a loved one diagnosed with a disease. You're sitting at the hospital trying to comfort them, but you have no way to help. About 10 years ago, my grandma had a heart attack and I was in the same position. However, technology 10 years ago was not the same as it is today. My name is mgedell, and today I will be informing you about stem cell research, the political steps taken, and the pros and cons over the last decade. Stem cell research was a controversial topic consisting of both positive and negatives that result in a political debate to continue funding or ban the research for the future. First, let's talk about what are stem cell and some functions. According to the National Institute of Health Resource for Stem Cell Research, stem cells are unspecialized cells capable of renewing themselves that give rise to new cells that are highly specialized that take place in cells that die or are lost. Essentially, that means that they serve as an internal repair system that divide without limit to replenish other cells as long as the person is still alive. When a stem cell divides, each new stem cell has the potential to remain a stem cell or become another type of cell with a more specialized function, such as a muscle cell, a red blood cell, or a brain cell. Stem cells can become any one of 220 different cells in the body. Scientists over the years have worked with two kinds of stem cells. The first kind is embryonic stem cells, which is pluripotent stem cells derived from the inner cell mass of the blastocyst, which is an early stage embryo. The second type of stem cell is a non-embryonic, somatic, or adult stem cell, which is more limited and not as effective as the embryonic. Research for this began in 1981 using mouse embryos. This led to the discovery in 1998 of a method to derive human embryos and grow in a lab. This was created for reproductive purposes using in vitro fertilization, which is an egg fertilized by a sperm outside the body in a dish. Now that the basic information is known, what was the political controversy of stem cell research? Controversy led to intense debate about ethics. According to an article I found on the New York Times website, the debate started in 1996 when the Dickey-Wicker Amendment banned the use of tax dollars to create human embryos. In August 2001, President Bush passed a bill to allow tax dollars to be spent on stem cells that were already extracted. So basically, as long as the researchers didn't extract them themselves, then they were allowed to conduct the research. But then in August 26, on August 2006, the Republican-controlled Congress passed a bill that expanded the research. However, President Bush issued his first veto of his presidency. In March 2009, President Obama issued an executive order that limited put limits on what Bush created, and made it clear that the government supported stem cell research. August 2010, the order was blocked. Then in 2011, the Federal Appeals Panel overturned the ruling and allowed the research to continue. And then an article by Frank Newport, which reviews discusses America's views on key policy issues using polls. Well, I had a slide, but it says what percent of Republicans and Democrats were morally acceptable for stem cell research, and Republicans were 40% and Democrats were 72%. Since the policies allowed research to continue, what positives came from it? Dr. Teresa Phillips, which has a background in biotechnology and biomedical research, proved that the excitement of stem cell research was primarily due to medical benefits in area of regenerative medicine and therapeutic cloning. They also provided huge potential for finding treatments and cures for various diseases. Those diseases include Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, heart disease, etc. So for example of how stem cells work, let's say you want to test a new drug for heart disease. If you weren't using the stem cells, you'd have to test them on the animals, then interpret the data, and then associate it to humans. Instead, you could test it directly on humans by converting stem cells to be treated to become human heart cells in a dish, which gave potential to the drugs tested and made them directly applicable to humans, which save a lot of money and time. And finally, the pros are clear, but what are the negatives? Dr. Phillips also talks about the pro-life organizations that want to seen it as a destruction of the blastocyst, which is a lab-fertilized human egg, which was seen as murder of human life. Their beliefs, they believe life began at conception, so this was interpreted as destruction of preborn life, which was morally unacceptable. The belief too that immoral to destroy a few days old embryo, even to save or reduce the suffering in existing human life. So in conclusion, after the controversy of stem cell research, after years of controversy, stem cell research has become a more important issue and continues to aid treatment of the disease. In my opinion, the good outweighs the bad, and I support stem cell research because it gives hope to people who lost their way of life.
Thank you, Mike. You know, when you're doing an informative speech, your opinion really should not be part of it. Informative is just information. Yeah, and you did it at the end, but it really should be like you had up to that point, which was tended to be balanced. This is an important topic, and the way you presented it, it didn't sound important. It sounded like
my cards were messed up because I had it with the slideshow.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't depend on the slideshow. The slideshow should just be an adjunct. The cards are there to. The cards are the ones you practice with. And the controversy that went on during the Bush years, it was really important, and I feel like it. You really should have focused on that. And it kind of got lost in the explanation.
I know, because I was trying to talk about it, but like I was going to use my